This is Black Nerd Power. On the KUDZUKIAN.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, one and all, to the little show that we like to call Black Nerd Power. BNP, if you're nasty. I'm your host, Mr. Richard Douglas Jones, and with me, the co-host of Black Nerd Power, Mr. Marcus Seabury.
What's up, my nerd?
Oh, nerd to please. And, of course, Miss Kimber. What's happening, mate?
Hey.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
I'm good. Y'all good?
We're
good. Man, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Took off yesterday. Chilling.
What?
Yeah, every once in a while I be like, yeah, I gotta be alone and away from all you motherfuckers.
Baby, come on, Seabear. You better hashtag self-care in this bitch. Take a day off. Take a day of rest. And right coming up to Labor Day, again, real nigga shit. In case you did not get to tune in to the little pre-banter, theme of the morning has been hashtag real nigga shit. And Marcus.
Real nigger shit.
No, that's Richard's theme. I'm talking about the theme of the show. Okay, so the theme of the show is real nigga shit, and Marcus taking a day off right before Labor Day is real nigga shit. So thank you, Marcus. I appreciate
real
you.
Nigga shit.
Man, gotta get them hoes in at some point.
Cope, you gotta warn me when you're gonna do that.
I got a shit ton of off days, man. Like, I might not get all them hoes done for the end of the year, but I'm like, I got that motherfucker. But
you're just such a pure soul. The fact that you was like, I got to get these hoes in some kind of way, I was like, what, Marcus?
Oh no, I use hoe a lot. Everything is a hoe. Everything is a hoe. Because I was talking to Rich the other day, because you know, Richard is gonna crowdfund his amazing comic idea, Native Son. I'm like, yo, the idea been dope, man. You just gotta get somebody to draw that hoe. Hoe is like
hoe being a noun. It's a person, place, thing. Hoe being a noun will really trip you up in Memphis, Tennessee. It truly will.
My wife used it the other day. She was like, well, no, today she like, I've been around you too long now, calling everything a hoe. I was like, I'm proud.
There you go.
You know, call that hoe.
It's a hoe.
Right.
But you know, I've been checking out some stuff on the boob tube. Yo, Kerry Champion and Jamel Hill, two ex-ESPN staffers, have a talk show on Vice called Stick to Sports.
Right.
And the first episode was just really cool. They have a nice banner. They really know each other. They had LeBron James on. And then they had, oh my God, I'm sorry, the black woman who's a congressional candidate, and she like beaten in Compton. She was like a registered nurse or something like that. Her name was escaping me.
What state is she running in?
Man, I don't even know that, man. I'm sorry. I suck. I'm sorry. But,
negative self-talk. Disagree.
Okay, I didn't stick the landing on that one.
It's all good. It's all good. You didn't.
But man, cool little show. They had segments like, "Is this racist? Fuck out of here." I was like, I like y'all segments. Just like the shit I would have came up with.
So Jesus and Miro meets like ESPN.
Yeah,
with ladies.
But with ladies, Jesus and Miro, they interview ladies often.
But you know, Jesus and Miro have gone to the big money pastures of Showtime. So I guess Vice was like, well, what we gonna do? All right.
Let's make something up. Let's steal this let's steal these black people's intellectual property.
You two niggers.
But actually though, yo, real talk. Jamel Hill's post ESPN second act has just been so cool and diverse because she has that show. She has the podcast, Jamel Hill is Unbothered, and she's writing for The Atlantic, and she's been producing different shows, and I think some of them are going to be on ESPN. So even though she's not an everyday person at ESPN, she's still getting ESPN money. I kind of love her.
Not to mention her Twitter feed is most excellent.
Yeah, and also, guys, I had to watch one of my favorite movies because it recently turned 10. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched that last night, and like, also, this is a special movie to me and my wife Nicola because we saw it when we first started dating.
Oh,
10 years ago.
That's so weird. Go ahead.
And she read the entire comic series for me back then because I asked her to.
Did she also agree with everyone else that the movie ending is better than the book ending?
I don't know about that, but this is what I've realized, and it might be a no duh to some people. Scott Pilgrim, like, he's polite, but he's kind of a jerk in an ass.
Yes.
Kind of.
Like, he's damn near a villain, even though he's polite. And I see that the end of the movie also completes a redemptive arc for him and Ramona because she's no prize chicken either. I'm like, both of y'all kind of shit. So I guess y'all gonna be together and get y'all shit together.
Yeah, they're both kind of shit people. I believe Scott Pilgrim is what the kids call a fuckboy, but they didn't call them fuckboys 10 years ago.
How is it that we're using kind of for Scott Pilgrim? Like, did y'all niggas watch this movie?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pilgrim starts off the movie. We start off with some ambiguity about whether or not Scott's a pedophile. Okay?
Yeah,
anyone? Nobody remembers the pedophilia. The hints of pedophilia, right?
Yeah,
because like he was dating a high school.
Knives is like 17. Yeah.
And on the one hand, like it's a really familiar story and of like a recent high school graduate who hasn't fucking found their path forward to adulthood, reaching back toward high school things. And that was really apparent in the movie that like he's realizing like, get the fuck out of here. You have to grow up. But still, like,
it's problematic.
It's hella problematic. And I also feel like it complicated itself well enough and was really like, I feel like it was really intentional in how it portrayed Knives and Scott, but it's still like, really calls into how little care we take with little girls. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, and Knives was then, sorry to suck the fun out, guys.
No, you're good. If you didn't, I would have.
It's just my lot in life. But also, like, I really liked that movie. Like, I enjoyed that movie too but it's so fucking stupid. Like, he makes her ex-girlfriend come to death and turn into coins. What kind of bullshit is that? Y'all, like, this is a problematic film, and Scott Pilgrim is definitely a bad guy, which we know, and Scott knows. Like, he knows he ain't shit, just like Ramona knows she ain't shit.
That's basically the whole movie is just you wait till the last act for him to be like, damn, I gotta get my shit together.
Man, I ain't shit. But then he pulls the ultimate fucking white boy move and goes and gets fucking cool with his white ass villainy self. Like, he didn't even kill his bad part. Right. He became homies with them.
Right. He's like, yeah, no, he's cool. We're gonna get lunch tomorrow.
We're gonna get lunch later. Yeah. What? Scott, you are such a dick.
I thought that was cool. To me,
you want him to chop it up with the part of him that thought it was okay to use a high school girl and fuck with her feelings to feel better about himself? You want him to be bang bang with that part of himself?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it like that. It was him making peace with, like, I guess the not so great aspects of his personality, and growing. Because I think the whole thing is about growth. And I will say this, though. Knives Chow is the real MVP of, like, that whole story, boy.
That's typically what we do to vulnerable people when we use their vulnerability as plot lines. Like, that's a very repeating pattern in all kinds of storytelling. That especially when there's a portrayal of a character who's, like, disempowered, and their vulnerability and their lack of power in that situation is being preyed upon by the person who's supposed to be the hero of that story. Typically what we do in that case is we falsely empower that person and then turn them in and then make them have all this random ass emotional growth that that can't be justified in the story. How did Knives go from being literally brokenhearted and sick to fucking death to insanity? You know how you were the first time your heart got broken. Insane with heartbreak, right? To dyeing her hair, going and risking her fucking life, antagonizing another woman, and then all of a sudden, in like the space of a boss fight, she just realizes she's too cool for Scott. Like, that's really convenient storytelling for the story and really bad storytelling for how people interact with young girls and women.
But we liked the movie, though.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. I watched it. I enjoyed it. But we have to acknowledge here.
No,
realities.
For sure. And most movies you go back and watch and you're like, it's a little problematic. Like earlier this week, I did a reading for somebody wanted to do a cast reading of Ghostbusters, and Bill Murray's character, Dr. Peter Venkman.
Oh yeah, he's a little sleazy.
Is kind of ain't a little about it. He's sleazy as hell. He would have Peter Venkman would have got me too. Like at some point.
Oh, you're listening to Black Nerd Power.
Oh yeah,
and you can say that about a whole bunch of motherfucking people. Like, it's niggas. It's listen everywhere and every time. That when niggas could have got yeah, for sure.
It's like, nah, that ain't the move, dude. Let's see. What I got a chance to check out a movie that came out a couple of years ago on Hulu called Booksmart. It's basically Superbad with white girls.
Oh yeah, I saw it at the movie theater.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like the fact that the party wasn't the end of the movie. Like, you see stuff after the party because, in those kind of movies, usually getting to the party and having fun is the climax of the movie. So yeah, one of the little girls is out, and she's just out and proud, just don't know how to get the job done. So it was interesting to watch it.
She out of what? Like, she out in the streets?
No, she's out as a lesbian.
Got you. I'm sorry. I really, because I ain't never seen Superbad. That's the other thing.
Okay, yeah. I've
never seen Superbad, but I've definitely seen the icon for Booksmart. It keeps getting recommended to me lots and lots and lots and lots.
Yeah. It's kids. You wouldn't like it.
Yeah, that's not my shit.
Yeah, nah, you'd be good. The other thing I watched this documentary called Happy Happy Joy Joy on Ren and Stimpy. And as much as I love Ren and Stimpy, I can't watch it no more. It's problematic as hell.
Well, John Crickfalusi's a slimy fuck.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about any of that stuff. So this was all new information to me. All I knew is he was wilding out and got fired, and that's why Billy West ended up doing the voices of both Ren and Stimpy, because he was OG Ren. But yeah, the more you get into it, it's just like, this little girl was writing him letters, and the next thing you know, she's 16 and out in California living with him, and just he put just a shit smear on one of my favorite cartoons, and it's just I was just like, damn, man, all of my favorite episodes he was involved. I can't do it,
man.
Every fucking opportunity possible.
Man, men are trash, man. I'm a man, and I'm saying it.
I don't even want to. It's not even that men particularly are trash. Like, it's just like, we have to acknowledge that the way that our whole system is set up, because it's not just our country, but the way that like world systems are set up is to make it easy for anybody who wants to prey on little girls to prey upon them. Anybody who wants to prey on little people, anybody who wants to prey upon vulnerable women, right?
Yep.
Like, so it's really insane. And that's why, like, I think what we do is so important, because we have to have these complicated conversations for ourselves so that we can remember what it is that we are situated here for. We're specifically Black Nerd Power. We don't just talk about how dope Scott Pilgrim is. We talk about how fucking not dope it was that I love that movie and it wasn't a nigga in sight. Despite the fact that I know it's Black people in Canada.
One brown person.
Yeah, it took place in Toronto, right?
You know, yeah.
So, there's hella Black folks in Toronto. That's what Drake has from.
This is what we know for a fact is that if Drake had been bigger, like 10 years ago, Drake was like when Scott Pilgrim came out, of course Drake was there, but he wasn't Drake.
He was just
another nigga who we caught up on the internet preying on little girls. Like, get y'all friends, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's out here, bruh, and we gonna bring it the fuck up. So if that's not what you came for, then I guess you might have came to the wrong
Sorry.
show. No shade though. We glad you're here.
We're glad you're here listening to Black Nerd Power. Did
y'all watch Lovecraft Country?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This conversation makes me think so much about Lovecraft Country because Lovecraft Country is a lot of things, but a lot of really wonderful things so far in my experience. But one of the main things.
I'm like, sold. What you got? Sold.
Exactly. But one of the reasons that like I'm so in, despite the fact that I don't typically do horror, is that the hero in this story is somebody who's in love with books and stories, y'all. Like Tick is in love with stories. One of the first conversations in the actual show is a conversations about books between two Black characters.
Yeah, specifically John Carter, which I thought was really cool. I like it reminded me a lot of the show because he was like, "No, I love this book," and she was like, "A Confederate soldier, nah, bro."
And he's like an ex-Confederate, and she like, "You can't X that out." But the line that kills me, and I'm not gonna quote it properly, was that like stories are like people. Stories are like people. You hold the ones you love close to your heart and you try to overlook the flaws. And while that may not be right, like I know this character was complicating that for our hero Tick in the moment. And people complicate that for me and I complicate it for myself. But at the end of the day, like just last week, y'all know, like as soon as somebody says Ramona Quimby, I turn into a heart eyes emoji, you know? Like, so.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to watch it because I was
oh my God, you're gonna love
it.
It
looks good, but I'm not really a horror guy. But I guess I'm gonna have to get past.
Yeah, no, I thought for sure I was gonna have to bring y'all into the show kicking and screaming, but
not under these circumstances. It was too tempting. There are too many Black women in the writers' room. There are also this is the America where the current find her name for me.
Journey
the woman that we met. Find her name for me. So this is a world where like we actually have access as a Black community to the holder of the Bram Stoker Award in horror. Like that award belongs to a Black woman, Linda Addison. And I forgot Linda Addison's name, but y'all, I will never remember how Linda Addison made me feel when I met her at Black Tasticon in Atlanta in 2018. I will never forget how that woman made me feel, y'all. She like held my hands and looked at me and was like, "This space is for us." And I'm like, your hands held the Bram Stoker Award, and now you're holding my hands with them.
No, I get it. That's how.
That's beautiful, man. For real.
That's how I felt when I met Cree Summer. I was like, Cree Summer's amazing, and she smells like
the ocean.
She smells like flowers, and like she smells like Barack Obama's third term.
It's true. It's true. It's true. So, Marcus, I say all that to say that, like, Black people right now in America we know, because, you know, Get Out and Us and all that shit. But no, it ain't just a fluke, dog. Black people are changing horror in America.
Right.
Okay?
Not to mention, and then one of the most interesting parts about it is that it's a period piece. So you have this Black man that is fresh out of the military, who
Korean War, 1955.
Right. And who is a fan of pulp books, as he calls them. So, yeah, he's reading all kinds of John Carter and science fiction and was the president of the science fiction club in his high school and just all of this other stuff. So, yeah.
All right, I'm going to check it out.
I cannot recommend it enough. Cannot. Like, Because here's the thing.
I like the actor though, like the lead dude. He was in the Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Yeah, and the Five Bloods. Yeah.
I never watched Five Bloods. I need to watch it too.
Here's the thing, Seaberry, with this particular episode, the supernatural scary stuff doesn't happen until the third act. Like it's scary in its own completely different normal way well into the third act. Like the supernatural like elements of it don't happen until the third act, and you're like, oh okay, and then but like up until that point, like I don't want to give anything away. But yeah, that's
yeah, Marcus, you're gonna have to honestly. There's so much to talk about in Lovecraft Country, and I think that right now it's so important that we talk about it. That you really do have to watch this, because right now to not spoil this would be to not have some incredibly beautiful conversations that I really feel like listeners want to engage in. And so if you are like Marcus right now, take this as a hint.
Niggas.
There's also an incredible, wonderful podcast already in the works, and you can find it on HBO called Lovecraft Radio, and that's with one of the writers from the writers' room and another woman named Ashley C. Ford, who has been part of the long line of coalition of writers who's been fighting for this kind of representation on HBO. Like, we know that they continue from the line of warriors that were there in the time of these people. Like, it's like our ancestors, Marcus. I promise you,
like legit,
ancestors.
Like legit.
The Journey Smollett, and I know we're supposed to wrap up. Sorry, John. Here we go. But Journey Smollett, the reason that Journey Smollett and Tick, our hero, know each other is because pre the events of the story, they were in the science fiction book club in Chicago together. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So these are like our Black nerd ancestors. Like, you got to get into this shit. You got to.
All right, I'm sold. Y'all convinced me. All right, I'm in.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more Black Nerd Power.
This is Black Nerd Power.
R&R on Sports.
1968 Olympian Dr. John Carlos.
Oh, man, it's an honor. They need to pick up their radio and tune you guys in.
There you go.
It's R&R on Sports. Keeping it real, right, and funky.
Mauricio Calvo, who happens to be the executive director of Latino Memphis. Welcome to Funky Politics, sir. How are you?
Great. Thank you. You're having as much trouble saying my name as I do saying KUDZUKIAN, so we're even.
Hey, look, I'm good on that.
Reasonable people understand that a country is more than its leader. I mean, I love my home country, but I think people in Memphis need to count their blessings.
Funky Politics on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Black Nerd Power.
And we're back. Black Nerd Power, BNP, if you're nasty, KUDZUKIAN Network. That's a lot. I feel like a rapper. All my clicks I got to shout out these days.
I be saying that all the time, man. It's like we on the like we 90s rappers throwing out our label. KUDZUKIAN, baby. We in the building. We got now. We don't care who got next.
New shit. Clue.
I be forgetting. I think I'll be on some Mike Will Made It type shit. Like, Mike Will Made It. Okay? All right.
I'm going to do a quick little tech talk story really quickly. But before I do, Mr. Seaberry, we got any notable RIPs this week?
Man.
If not, just shout out to the hundreds and thousands of people that have succumbed to the coronavirus. It's still a thing. We are still very much in quarantine. Our hearts go out to most of y'all.
Well,
because there's plenty of y'all that's like, I don't believe in it, and then you get it like, oh Lord, I'm dying.
Okay, but guess what? My hearts go out to their families because somebody loved them. But
thank you, Marcus.
Yo, sometimes I do a little death watch for like tried and true businesses. We gotta throw them out because it looks like Dave and Buster's and the Cheesecake Factory. It's not looking good for them.
I mean, it's not looking good for most restaurants.
They filed the old bankruptcy. there was some big Pizza Hut and Wendy's franchisee, and he went bankrupt. So it's like a gang of them about to be out there. And yo, also, man, like, I'm sorry to everybody losing their job in these tumultuous economic times, man. I don't love working from home, but I'm like, I like it better than being unemployed.
50 fucking million people file for unemployment.
50 million.
This year.
That is more than 10% of the population of the United States.
And this is RIPs, and we don't know no names to call right now, but that's worth fucking grieving. Like, that's worth fucking grieving, y'all. Like, 30 million people on unemployment right now. Unemployment ain't no fucking money. Those people are suffering. So many people who don't get approved for unemployment. People are suffering. The lines for the food giveaways are still miles and miles long.
And miles.
If you can donate to MIFA, donate to MIFA. MIFA is Memphis Interfaith Association, or I don't forget what the A stand for, but MIFA give out the food. They the little hand with the apple in that joint when you see in the grocery store, and you see that's an old logo. But if you have undamaged canned goods, non-perishable food, please look on their Instagram and on their website and find out where you can give that food, because people are out here suffering and people are dying. So y'all stay safe and mask the fuck up.
And if you do not live in the Memphis area, please feel free to donate to your local
reputable charitable organizations. I wanna stress that it's some shiesty dogs out there.
That's why I give some food, and like be selective about where you give your money, but where somebody asking for food, get that shit, because as long as somebody gonna eat, it's worth it. Take them canned goods up there. That shit 30 cents. You got it.
Correct. If you can't, somebody always got to eat. Always. Yeah. Every day. Okay. So yes, our shout out to all of the people that have fallen victim, either giving the ultimate sacrifice, their lives, or the people that are experiencing economic hardships. Also to people in Congress, eat a dick, get this together. I get it. You're trying to make sure they don't defund the postal service, but like, take that shit out of the bill and get these people some money. Like people are ridiculous. Have you I been watching
the? So I haven't been watching the news because I cannot fucking cope. Yeah. But I did watch the DNC.
You want to talk about that now, or you want to wait till you?
No. I was going to talk about what I saw connected to what you were saying. Okay. That like the news cycles, like they cycle the news before they actually start showing the Democratic National Convention and the people who talking. And the news cycle that you get exposed to is so fucking trash. They don't cover none of the hardships of people. Not really. None of the hardships of people, just fucking drama and fucking Trump crimes. It's crazy.
That's basically the news. The news should be called "The President Said What?"
And no concern, and then like emoting over people suffering from all the effects of COVID, but not actually doing anything, or showing those people's faces, or giving like the real information about how people. It's nuts. That's fucking insane.
It absolutely is. I'm gonna switch gears a little bit and go into a little bit of tech talk. In news that should either make you happy or scare the shit out of you. IBM is now reporting that their quantum computer has now doubled its processing power. For those of you that don't know what a quantum computer is, okay.
It's going to be so racist.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. Standard computers store information and data on microchips and microprocessors, et cetera, et cetera. A quantum computer stores information basically on atoms. And so the computing power potential is exponentially greater if they're able to get the quantum computer working like it's supposed to and shrink it down, and they're going to be able to be, eventually they'll make it available for consumer consumption. But for right now, it's a big old tower that hangs from the ceiling, and it's water cooled, and there's all kinds of semiconductors. But yeah, it is doubled since let's see. Yeah, they reached, in just a year.
Damn.
I might be getting ready to ask a question that goes too far.
Okay.
And that's okay.
Okay.
But what the fuck they mean it double? It's up in there splitting its own atoms? Like, what is doing?
It means that they're able... Not necessarily that it's splitting its own atoms. It's just that they're able to get
more stuff on each atom.
Yeah, more stuff on it, and to get it to compute at a faster pace.
This is freaky.
Because that's the thing about a quantum computer. It does kind of learn. Yeah. I
don't like this because I'm a quantum computer and I don't really feel good about them making one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Me and
your
my
concerns are absolutely correct. When the singularity happens, and the singularity is basically an event that is predicted to happen within the world of science, wherein AI becomes a real thing. And computers legitimately become self-aware. It's probably going to happen with a quantum computer.
Oh, they're gonna take us out. I just hope I die soon.
Again, I've said this on the show before. The robot revolution is a problem for my kid.
I ain't got that.
Yep, it's a problem.
I want to die soon, but I don't want to die soon, but I want to beat that up out of here. Cause I don't know.
Sure. So that's
I just be trying to be nice to Siri.
Yeah, right. For sure.
And hope she remember.
You absolutely should.
She gonna recall it.
But this is coming from CNET. Let me see. IBM has doubled the performance of its quantum computers compared with last year's model. A key step in delivering on the promise of the revolutionary machines. But it's not only an early step, and rivals are breathing down Big Blue's neck. That's the name of the quantum computer, Big Blue. Let's see. The fundamental data processing element in the quantum computer is called a qubit. And having more of them is better. They're notoriously finicky because of outside influences like heat. Yeah, you got to keep them relatively cold. Heat can come in and derail quantum calculations. That's coming. They're at this point, IBM is vowing to annually double its computing power. The robot revolution will be a problem for our kids. Because think about the
not if we eat the rich first.
Right. Touche. Rise up and eat them good. Although they'll probably be gamey and stringy.
Yeah, it'll be nasty, but they'll be ate though. Sometimes you just like that kid in the Umbrella Academy. Sometimes you eat a motherfucker because they got to be ate, not because they delicious.
Touche. But think about that. Think about the first generation computing machines, like in Hidden Figures, with the big in-room data tapes versus the computers we're talking on now. Hell, a phone in our hands. Okay, so take that kind of a timeline and condense it considerably, because like I just said, they're doubling, or they're planning to double the computing power of this thing every year. So at some point, they're going to be able to use that tech to shrink down the quantum computer. And so once we're able to have portable quantum computers, the robot revolution is not far off.
Oh my God. So portable quantum computers, meaning that and we are not, and honestly, y'all, if you're listening to this and you're some actual tech person, we know the fuck this is not our area, but we like to ideate about it. Don't you want regular people talking about your shit? Yeah. So here we go, right? I love I fucking love Webtoon, okay? And when I'm not reading Lore Olympus, I like to read Crumbs. In Crumbs, well, there's a really cute heroine. She's brown skinned and chunky. and I love her. And she and her love interest, it's a super magical universe, and she and her love interest have these little Palm Pilots, and it's just like your phone, but she'll call its name, and hers is named Stella, and Stella will pop up. She'll wake up and come like apparate out of the phone and do what our main character needs her to do as like a little personal assistant. And when she puts her away, she'll say goodbye, Stella, and Stella will greet her and say and give her salutations and all those things, and they're very much interacting. Also, people in this universe get attached to their little Palm Pilot person. And so what you'll find is that sometimes you have a person like our main character's boyfriend whose Palm Pilot person is very slow. It's like an old man little apparition, and he like goes really slow and moves really slow, but it's because he's attached to him and he keeps fixing him and doesn't update or upgrade him. You see what I'm saying? So
like the movie Her.
Yes, except didn't he fall in love with her and start to sexualize her? God, white man. Ugh. Yeah. It was weird, but more wholesome and beautiful. So that's what
sound like my 7S.
You love that thing.
So here's basically how quantum computing works. Okay, within regular computing, analog computing, all of the information is stored in binary, zeros and ones. Okay, and that's how computations are made. They go through choices and things of that nature. Whereas with
Huck taught us this. Remember?
Right. Whereas with quantum computers do something a little bit differently. Instead of zeros and ones, yes or no, it is both at the same time. It is zero and it is. That's basically what they're talking about, the units qubit. They make computations in real time, so they're able to say yes, no, and maybe all at the same time in those computations because of how quantum computers work and Heisenberg's uncertainty principle and blah, 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 science.
So remember early on, I was like, this is going to be racist. And you were like, no, it's not. And I was like, okay. And here's where the racist part comes in. The computers can only learn what they're taught because that's just what's real. Like they can only learn what they experience. And because these are going to be things that are accessible by the rich, they're also going to develop the habits, the mindsets, the values of the rich and powerful and privileged. And
hopefully that means it kills them first.
Maybe that's what it means. But maybe since it's like 1 and 0 and yes and no and maybe, but just those three things, because because if maybe not doesn't come into play, then we're just all fucked. You know what I'm saying? One, because it's like 1 and then 0, and we can do both of those, and then yes, no, maybe, but did maybe not come into play ever? Because that's what's gonna be the tale. Like, can you restrain your fucking self?
It makes all of those decisions to us what appears simultaneously. So it is able to make those computations in not even real time, hyper time.
But with all of that knowledge, absent values, or with values that only reflect those of the privileged, like again, I just don't see this working out well for anybody. Sure. Like, just like right now, computers are right now on the side of the rich. Black kids, brown kids in public school, they ain't learning shit. It's whole schools done shut. And even though Hutchinson, private schools are already, Hardin Academy, they already shut down. Hutchinson, they had a case the next day. These are private schools in Memphis. And it's crazy because they went back to school, but they still have the money to try to create the semblance of safety. Meanwhile, public schools, the kids are on the computers and the Wi-Fi is terrible and everything's bad. And then they be having to shut down because some rando kid does something shitty, uploads a bunch of porn to the classroom, and now they can't get it off, and now they got to shut everything down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy. My favorite kid was the one who renamed himself Reconnecting, but he misspelled reconnecting. So the teachers would think he was having problems because he didn't want to be in on the virtual session. I was like, you almost had it, kid. You almost had it.
This is clearly you need this.
That one time that spelling did count. Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, That's one of the things. I know we're backing up, but yeah, that is definitely one of the things that is going to make a huge difference in this world that we live in. The economic discrepancies as it relates to education, especially because like you said, there are so many poor children that just they don't have access to it. Where they gonna get it from?
And then quantum computers, who gonna get quantum computers? But anyway, we don't know who gonna get the quantum computers, but we do. And we gonna see. Hopefully, again, like Richard said, maybe they'll kill them first. Right?
Maybe.
I just need guns and a big old super soaker. Because as Richard always tells me, what's the best way to deal with machines? Water.
Oh,
There you go. Just hope they do. You shoot a robot with a squirt gun, he's gonna be like, "I need some rice." Like this. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Please put me in rice. I will be fine.
Please put me in rice. I will be fine. We can be programmed to make that plea at the end. That would be really smart. As you're shutting down, no matter what's happening.
They actually do that on what is The Good Place. There's a hyper intelligent computer in the shape of a woman by the name of Janet. And there are parts of the show where they have to reset Janet, and Janet is like, "I feel absolutely no pain at all. This will not hurt me, but please understand that I am going to plead for my life." So they get ready to push the button, and she's just like, "No, God, no, please, no, please, no." And she's like, "Once again, I'd like to remind you, I don't feel any pain, and this will not affect me in any way whatsoever." But he goes up to, and she's like, "Oh, God, no, please, don't, please." It's very funny. It's very funny. Cannot recommend The Good Place enough. We're going to take a break real quick, and we'll be right back with more Black Nerd Power KUDZUKIAN Network.
This is Black Nerd Power.
Jazz, America's own original musical art form. When did it start? Who were and are some of the major players? How do you distinguish what kind of jazz you're listening to? We talk about the great and lesser-known artists, songs and tunes, the instruments, and the social impact jazz has had on world culture since its beginning at the start of the 20th century.
Riffin' on jazz on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
And we're back, Black Nerd Power KUDZUKIAN Network. Mr. Seaberry, what you doing when you ain't shaking your keister on FansOnly?
When I'm not shaking what my forefathers bequeathed me.
Come on!
I'm reading comics.
What's in the comic book corner this week?
All right, so we're going to talk about Ezekiel Himes Zombie Hunter number 2 of 2. Now, I want to show you something because it's okay. This is the cover of the number 1. You see, he's in pretty good shape. But then they come to cover the number 2. You see, your boy that went through some things. I love the way they changed the cover like that. I thought that was hella clever. Okay, so at the end of 1, he's hunting zombies, and he kind of gets dinged in the head by a bullet from this woman who's with the rival group, and he gets kidnapped. We also see a flashback of, I guess, him in younger days with the woman he loved, and they had a child, and he was like kind of herding, I guess, zombies in for the evil corporation before he wised up. And we see when his woman disappears, he's thinking about all this while he's captured. The same woman who shoots him, he convinces to let him go. And he breaks into the compound. He chats with kind of this zombie CEO. Because, see, in this world, there's a evolved level of zombies who are like zombified, but they're still sentient and intelligent. And they kind of employ zombies and humans. And so, big CEO zombie guy was like, you can have your old job back, but with more money, like, a better position. And he was like, fuck that. Then he was like, okay, we're going to hunt your ass into the ends of the earth. And he shot him in the head. And I guess he was like, I don't give a damn. And eventually he gets free and he takes his revenge on the humans who tried to enslave him. But he uses, surprise, surprise, the zombified versions of his girlfriend and child.
Oh, my.
It's a crazy, fun little story, man. That was 2 of 2. This is published by Amigo Comics. That is a company based in Mexico.
I'm going to be honest with you. It was going to have to be.
It better be. Yeah. Fuck yeah, it better be.
It was gonna have to be.
I'm sorry, Spain. They're based out of Spain. They're based out of Spain.
Okay, that ain't as good. No, not saying difference because Spain is some fucking colonizers, okay?
Exactly.
And we're gonna honor the fact that Mexico got a hit, that Central America got a history outside of fucking Spain. But that at least is not infuriating. It's because they probably are white people, but at least they Spanish, that's their language. Okay, I'm fine.
And my second book, Dark Knight's Death Metal #3. Cause y'all know a nigga love his capes and tights. But enough about my love life.
Hey yo,
that was a joke. But basically, I'm a little sad because the cool composite giant robot of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, it's literally in ruins on the first page, and they use it to blow up some of the evil Bat versions. And they're trying to liberate the world and turn it back to normal. They finally free the death metal-y looking Superman and Mr. Miracle. They're liberating people. They have to fight like a Batman Darkseid hybrid. There's a lot of crazy Bat hybrids in this story. And they're going together, and then they death metal Superman opens a barrier, and he frees all the heroes. And actually a black character gets a line of dialogue. Mr. Terrific. So I was like, hey, a little bit of civil rights there. but also while they're making their plans, Lobo is working for Lex Luthor, and he's getting these little boxes that contain death metal. This has been a fun, cool little hero story. My only complaint is I feel like now they're finna ruin it because now the tie-ins are coming. And it's to the point where next month there won't even be an issue 4 of the regular series. It'll just be a gang of tie-ins.
Okay.
And I'm like, why is this? But we had beautiful story. And I felt like the universe was built, but, cash grab. But the main story is good. It's awesome. They gave me a nice little shiny cover there. Good stuff. Good fun. And also, I want to give a shout out to a past guest and friend of the show, Yehudi Mercado. Now, let me explain. Unlike other free comic book days where they just gave us a gang of free books on one day, they spread it out this year because most comic stores were closed on what would have been free comic book day for 2020. So Yehudi Mercado got one called Super Mercado, and it gives you, I guess, a little snippet of sci-fi, which we loved. And also this other book he has about this ragtag group of people on an intergalactic quest called Fun World. But on the last few pages, it lets us know that Sci-Fu It Takes Two is coming fall 2020, baby.
Oh, that's really good news. Because real talk, when you said which we loved, that's a real statement, y'all. Like, we loved Sci-Fu. It was so cute.
Yeah.
I read it after Marcus talked about it.
So cute.
Yeah.
Sci-Fu, just really quick about Sci-Fu. You can pick up Sci-Fu. It's the main character is a little black kid. Lots of graffiti art and lots of hip hop culture shit. Lots of black family. Lots of black kids kicking ass. So definitely get into Sci-Fu and pick up.
It's like if the smart kids on Craig of the Creek had their own comic book. That's
Craig and the Creek, legit.
Yeah, that damn show. Yeah, and the first volume, I guess, has now been retroactively titled "Kick It Off" because that's the title of the first volume. And volume 2, It Takes Two, like that great Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock song, is coming in the fall.
Do we have any news out of DC Fandom yet? Any big announcements?
Oh, man, I haven't been able to get on there and watch anything or read anything. I'll probably throw some articles up on the old Facebook page.
For those of you that don't know, as we are recording this, DC Comics is having its virtual event, DC Fandom, where apparently they're making all kinds of announcements because they're not going to Comic-Con because Comic-Con's not happening this year. Comic-Con's supposed to be virtual, but DC was like, we're just going to do our own thing and make our own announcements. So it's supposed to be movies, cartoons, TV shows, all of the updates happening to the DC world, hopefully including they'll finally make some announcements about the HBO Max Green Lantern show. We'll see how that goes.
On the one hand, I'm worried about like all the information being, because I feel like one of the first times we mentioned coronavirus on this show, I was mourning what was it, E3, because I was hoping for some early gameplay footage and like stuff like that, like from Mass Effect 4. I mean, Mass Effect 4, I'm so fucking crazy. The Last of Us 2. Y'all, my mind is so hard on Mass Effect in this reboot. Oh my God, y'all, this remaster. I'm going on Twitch to play the remaster. It's happening.
I was about to say, I think I might do the same. Yeah.
Yes, it's got to happen. But it's crazy that a con was one of the first mentionings that I'm remembering. And now to think that I'm sad that all the information and all the reveals are probably going to be in all these disparate places because people are going to host their own releases. But at the same time, it just makes fucking sense. Like, who's going to a con that's not a con, unless it's a dope con like Fire Lit Mag is having a virtual con in October, and that's like a gathering of minds, like a gathering of artists and authors. So that's one thing. But like these people who are just going to show their big screens at the con, you can do that from the home office, bro.
Right, basically. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it's all going to play out. Eventually, when we're done here recording, I'm going to mosey on over to dcfandom.com and see what's all the hubbub. But in the meantime, in between time, Miss Kimber, what's been going on with you? Because you be reading and shit.
Oh my God. This week I felt like I was reading my way through shit. So, which is always the case, but really like literal shit this time. Cause I watched the Democratic National Convention, like I said earlier, and Lord help me, y'all. Like, so where I am with the Democratic National Convention, here's why I watched it. I watched it on Hulu because it was on and nothing else was. So, hey. And then I watched it because I'm trying to come out of what I believe is the nadir of my political, like, emotional state. Like, right. I feel like I can't go lower. So might as well swing up. Right. So I watched the Democratic National Convention in order to get that good old dose of America. And God help me, it tasted like the worst medicine with the most sugar in it ever. You know what I mean? And there were some speeches that were good. It was good to see Memphis, like Representative Ramesh Akbari was on the Democratic National Convention 2 nights in a row with brief remarks. And it was good to see a lot of people. It was interesting and fun to see how blackness, like as black, like real blackness, not blackness that white people have digested, but real interactions between black people, such as you could tell who all of the black female political people who were AKAs were, because they all referred to Lord help me, Kamala Harris as sister, Kamala Harris, right? They did not call her their soror. No, they did not. But they called her their sister, right? And so it was just interesting. And then, of course, like for the first time ever, y'all, we got every big name. First of all, everybody up to Hillary Clinton said black. Everybody up to Barack Obama said Black Lives Matter. That includes Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. Michelle didn't say that. She was saying it is what it is and all that stuff she was doing. But I think she said Black Lives Matter too.
She's pretty on brand. You know.
And so, but then we get to Kamala Harris's actual speech and Joe Biden's actual speech, and they don't say Black Lives Matter, but they do talk very maybe Kamala did, but they do talk very specifically about.
I don't think she said the words, but no,
I don't think so either. Something to that effect.
She definitely touches on racial inequality.
And they say systemic racism like a whole bunch of times, which we know is dog whistling, but it's really interesting to see that in the people have tried to tell black people so many fucking things about what our vote is in just my voting career, which is very short. It's 18 years. I'm 36 now. And so in 18 years, I've heard so many crazy narratives about black people's votes, like Democrats just know they have it in the bag and don't care, and then Democrats definitely care but they just fuck it up all the time, and then like they care but it doesn't really matter. And it's insane to get to this place now where now the way that the marketing strategy is Black Lives Matter and systemic racism. Right. And it's not surprising because America, but it's really difficult. And it was really kind of, it caused a lot of dissonance in my brain because I'm in a really dissonant space about what I was dealing with, what I am dealing with around voting. So I tuned into DNC and got a nasty taste of Americana. And what that made me crave was some good, wholesome American Western love stories. And so I had to reach back. The first, what we know that the queen of Black American Western romance is Miss Beverly Jenkins, who we love and adore, who is a pioneer in the romance field and a treasure among Black people. Please don't say nothing bad about Beverly Jenkins. We can check. Like, I don't like you.
You sound like Benita Betrayal. You don't say nothing about Miss Jenkins.
Don't you say nothing about Miss Jenkins. What's wrong with you?
But don't go to her house, though.
No.
House just ride around on doom buckets.
But that's probably really how her neighbors talk about her. She's probably such an interesting old lady. But anyway, and I hope she's probably such an interesting older woman. So anyway, I reached back to The Taming of Jessie Rose. And The Taming of Jessie Rose is a novel from the early 2000s, I want to say, from Miss Jenkins. And it's about a goon, a G, a real one, a sister making it on her own in the frontier, Miss Jessie Rose, and how honestly making it on the frontier alone as a Black woman is hard as the fuck. Like, it's dead serious hard, because this is like Reconstruction, right when they like trying to take it all back, and it's unpleasant. So you end up needing help, and you end up taking help where you can get it. The help that she gets comes in the form of an ex-con who, for reasons, needs an opportunity to kind of hide out, stay down, stay low, and try to make some better decisions than the one he's been kind of forced into make by circumstances. So if you like historical Black romance, which is a beautiful thing, and you should try to enjoy some if you haven't had any. You know I'm a big fan. If you enjoy historical Black romance, if you enjoy stories about sassy heroines, and you enjoy a hero who's not intimidated by a sassy heroine. I mean, he is a criminal, so he on some goon shit. And you like that kind of vibe, then you'll really enjoy The Taming of Jessie Rose. I know the taming is kind of irritating as a word, but you know, I really enjoyed this story. See if you like it. And if you didn't like that one, try another one by Miss Jenkins, because again, she's a really beautiful writer. The more recent novel that I read, that was kind of a Western, is about a woman in modern times who returns to the West for refuge, right? In the same way we had this criminal run into refuge from the West when it was a new place. We have this woman who's a big famous chef in New York. She suffers a crime. She's like attacked, and she runs back to her home place of origin to recuperate. And she re-encounters old love. Of course, her old love in this case, since I'm enjoying this book, is a big fine ass Black cowboy with a gigantic horse. And and it was a great book by Rebecca Weatherspoon. So I love opportunities to read Weatherspoon and Talia Hibbert and all these new authors up against Miss Jenkins's older but not super old work, because it's just the modern history of Black romance, and it's beautiful in the wake of seeing the fall of the Romance Writers Association of America, seeing that there are tons and tons of articles and news coverage about the origins of the Romance Writers of America, which was started by a Black woman who was forced out. There are articles, then I'm going to post that to our Instagram if you want to read more about that. It's just beautiful to see that this modern history, in the same way that we see sci-fi and horror developing, Black women's romance stories and fantasies are developing too. And I'm excited to just read more and more. I'm excited to read backwards to what I've missed and what I may have overlooked. And I'm excited to read forward to the things that are coming.
One of my favorite moments from the DNC had to be Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who
that woman from Michigan. I liked her so much.
who got, right before she got on the hot mic, declared that it's Shark Week, motherfuckers.
Did she say that?
Oh, yes, ma'am. She mouthed the word motherfuckers, but yeah, she was talking to her staff and she was like, it's Shark Week. And then she's like, it's Shark Week, motherfucker.
Richard, are you lying to me?
Look it up. I'm telling you.
So you're serious? That lady really got on the mic and did that? I'm horrified. I'm horrified that I missed it.
Yeah. So yeah, no, and she's had to do, backlog and, backtrack and explain to people
what Shark Week is. Was she on her period?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's fine. It's Shark Week, bitches. Like, what the fuck?
Well, she had to explain and she had to explain.
Donut.
Right. And so yeah, she had to explain that it's a joke from comic Naeem Lynn.
Yeah.
And that's basically what the joke is. It's just that, he's enamored about how women are speaking more openly about their periods. He's like, if I was a woman, I'd be like, it's Shark Week, motherfuckers. And so that's where. So yeah,
it's about your personality.
Yeah,
it's really just about your personality. You're gonna say however much you're gonna say about that, regardless. And now just makes people more likely to do what they would have what they're already doing.
Right?
Because women talk openly. Women have always talked quote unquote openly, like openly but covered.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah, I was reading an article on the AV Club and they completely missed the mark. They're like, well, she doesn't know Shark Week ended August 16th. It's just like, bruh, it's not about.
Oh, wow.
Shark Week don't end until the mother says so.
Right. It's not. No, they thought it was the one on Discovery Channel.
Yes. Thank you, mansplainer.
Sorry. Whatever.
Hey, but Kimball, I want to thank you for using the word nadir because that's a word I've always read, but I don't think I exactly knew for sure how to pronounce it right. And I think you're the first person I've heard use the word in like real time. So thank you. I have things in my lexicon.
You're so funny. You're welcome. And also shout out to all the people, LeVar Burton and that man who makes fun of Maya Angelou's voice like this.
David Allen Greer.
Yes. Because
former show guest.
I love David Allen Greer. That was pre my time. What a time. What a beautiful time. Time. Marcus and other people who encounter, I say words wrong all the time. I say names wrong all the time. And it's because I read those names and I don't necessarily hear them said to me. And so stop thinking that we as a group of people should stop treating people bad when they say a word wrong, and especially if they say it wrong and use it correctly, or even if they say it wrong and use it quote unquote incorrectly, because we making language daily. It's a daily exercise, moment by moment. We create language. It's dynamic. So
it just hit me like, have I ever heard? I could probably count the number of times I've heard somebody use that word in real time. I was like, yes, that's it, and that's how you pronounce it. Yay!
That's how I said it. So if somebody got a better one for us, hit us with the pronunciation game. Y'all, maybe we should do vocabulary words.
Is that our vocabulary word this week?
What was our last one? Our last one was obfuscate.
Oh God, yeah, that was ooh.
It's a hard one to pronounce.
Yeah.
I have to thank somebody we talked about on the show before, Dr. Zandria Robinson, for teaching me that word.
Cool.
Oh, Zan.
So do we have any plugs? Because we're getting close. We're getting close to the end of the show, I think.
Why, yes, Richard, I have plugs.
You have plugs, Marcus?
What?
Yes. Once again, because I'm always assuming there's new people listening, so let me go back to. All right, if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch a movie with me in it for free. It is called Lights, Camera, Bullshit. It is currently included with your Prime subscription. And that is from Chad Barton, filmmaker, and the good people at Piano Man Pictures. Also, I'm in another Piano Man Pictures project. We did a table read for Chad Barton's script, Dumb County. It's a crazy zombie redneck yuck fest It's a little expensive for us to make right now, but we decided to do a live table read last year at our local video rental place, Black Lodge Video. It is now a 3-part podcast series. Now you can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, you can listen to it on SoundCloud, or you can go to pianomanpictures.com.
Okay. Let's see. You can also check us out on social media. You can check out our page on Facebook with the ones with the blue check, Black Nerd Power. You can check us out on Twitter at BMP if you're nasty, and you can check us out on Instagram at black.nerd.power. You can also check out Miss Kimber at
Afro Kimber, but I suck and don't typically approve my requests for follow.
No, you told me not to say I suck now, so
okay, I take it back. I'm temperamental.
Let's see.
You Black in America.
Not on the black.nerd.power Instagram. I interact a lot there.
Yes. So yeah, if you don't get her on our personal page, feel free to hit her up there. Let's see. In addition to that, you can find me personally on Twitch at Black Nerd Power. I just downloaded the beta for the Avengers game.
Yes.
And have been playing through that. I just finished Ghost of Tsushima and got the platinum trophy last night.
Did you find out whether or not there's co-play? Because if so, we should.
No, I have not found out yet, but as soon as I do, please understand that will definitely be happening. Definitely. Cannot wait. But I think that's going to do it for us this week, guys. This has been a really, really good show.
Yeah,
I've had fun.
I've had a good time. Love you guys.
It's been a romp, as they say.
Yeah, sure. A jaunt, if you will.
I say good sir.
Good sir, good sir. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. On behalf of myself, Mr. Richard Douglas Jones, and the co-host of Black Nerd Power, Mr. Marcus Seabury.
Arrest the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor.
And Miss Kimber.
You heard him.
You've been listening to Black Nerd Power on the KUDZUKIAN Network. Take care. We out!
Black Nerd Power, produced by Richard Douglas Jones and some outspoken introvert. Hosted by Richard Douglas Jones, Marcus Seabury, and Miss Kimber. Music curation, some random dude and his friends and their cousin. What?
Say what again?
Recorded, produced, and distributed by KUDZUKIAN.
KUDZUKIAN.